Hi, I'm Sherry, and this is Gardening in the North. Do you remember as a kid your parents always wanting to pull the weeds from their front lawn? The dandelions, the clover, everything had to go. Fast forward to today, September 2020, and I plan on spreading this whole bag of clover across my lawn. I bought this bag of clover at my local nursery. The plan for it is to mix it in with some soil, some grass seed, and spread it out by hand across my lawn in the areas that I think need it. Before I do that, I want to talk to you a little bit about what clover actually is. Clover is a nitrogen soil fixer and is part of the bean and pea family. Nitrogen is a big part of plant development and is one of the reasons why all your plants have that nice, lush green color. You may be asking, how is clover a nitrogen fixer? It has small nodules of nitrogen on its roots, and so whenever that plant is damaged and part of it dies, those roots release those nodules of nitrogen into your soil. For example, every time we cut our grass, we are killing part of the clover by cutting it. And what that does is it kills part of that root and then releases the nitrogen into our lawn. I have some that I have dug up, and I just wanted to show you, and I'm not sure if you'll be able to see it on camera or not. It's quite small, the little white nodules that are on there. I'm not sure. If I bring it closer, if you can see. I apologize for that. I was hoping that you might be able to see it. These ones may be better, the whites that are there. So if you have any clover, you can dig it up, and any of those little white nodules that you see on the root system, that's the nitrogen. If you let it, clover will overtake your lawn, because clover really likes it when you don't fertilize your grass, and it has the advantage. One of the things that we do here on our property is we ensure that we fertilize our lawn twice a year. So we do it in the spring and the fall. That way I know that the grass and the clover are going to be able to survive together, as opposed to one of them overshadowing the other. A lot of weed killers actually zero in on clover. But the problem with that is that clover is a natural fertilizer for your lawn and any surrounding plants. So you want to have clover in your lawn. You want that natural fertilizer being released anytime you cut your grass. You just want to make sure that your grass and the clover survive together. The other reason that I'm going to be spreading this out over my lawn is last year when we installed the pool, there was a lot of damage done to our lawn in certain areas, and we just can't seem to get grass to grow in those areas. It's very sporadic looking, and whenever we have a torrential downpour, the areas on the hill where the grass hasn't taken become trenches, and it's almost like the rain washes the dirt away. So my thoughts are that I want to plant both the clover and the grass seed there in the hopes that they'll build a really good root system. The great thing about clover, besides the fact that it's a natural fertilizer, is that it can handle the heat. It can handle the heat without rain. So if we have a period of time where we're not receiving rain, it's okay. It's going to survive. The same, it will survive in shady areas as well. So if you have a shady area where you just can't get your grass to grow there, plant clover. Clover will grow in shady areas. The other reason that I'm planting clover is for the wildlife. So I have a couple clips I want to show you, and I apologize in advance for the roughness of them. We had a family of wild turkeys in our backyard all day. And when I say all day, I mean from 8 a.m. to about 6 p.m. During that time, we had deer and we had rabbits all together in the backyard. And so during my day, I was running out here super quiet, hoping that I could get some footage of the wildlife. And as I came out, I realized that they were eating the clover. They were staying out of my gardens and they were eating the clover. How cool is this? This is in my backyard. There's a reason why rabbits and wild turkeys and deer all want to eat clover. It's packed with nutrients. It is a high protein diet, and most farmers actually plant this for their livestock. Their livestock love it, and it keeps them healthy, and it also helps their digestive systems. Not only wildlife and livestock like clover, but the pollinators and the beneficial insects also like clover. So having clover on your property is beneficial in so many ways. Let's talk about whether or not you should eat clover. There are a lot of edible plants out there that people are growing besides their vegetable annuals and stuff like that. Just other plants, weeds that they know they can eat. Can you eat clover? So there is a lot of research, a lot of articles on whether or not you should eat clover. And I would urge you to read these and do your research on whether or not you think you should be eating clover. White clover in Canada and in the northern part of America is not poisonous. However, that very same white clover in the warmer areas is poisonous. So I just wanted to put that out there for you so that if you are thinking that you can eat clover, do your research and make the decision that is best for you. I've made that decision not to eat clover, but everyone has to make their own decision on that. So let's talk about the disadvantages of clover. I mean, we've talked a lot about the advantages of it, but what are the disadvantages of clover? Well, you don't want to use clover in a field where you're going to be playing soccer, rugby, football, and you're going to be running on that turf constantly. That's where, you know, all of the house league and rep teams are playing, because it's not going to hold up to it. The other thing that you don't want, or the other thing that you want to keep in mind, is that clover can stain your clothes a little bit more than grass. So when the kids are playing in the yard and you have clover on your in amongst your grass, they may slide in to second base, or, you know, it's that last hit that they're taking and they slide on their knee and they get grass stains. If they've done that in the clover, the grass stains are a little bit harder to get out. The third thing that is a bit of a disadvantage about clover is that you do need to reseed every 3 to 4 years. The lifespan of this perennial plant is 2 to 3 years. Now, I'll tell you that I've had it on this property for 3 years and it's still going strong. I am going to reseed today, but I suspect that the lifespan of it may be a little longer than 2 or 3 years. But if you like having clover on your property, then you may want to ensure that you do it every 3 or 4 years. So come with me. I'm going to start spreading out the clover on my lawn. For those of you that have never seen clover, or you're just not sure what clover looks like, it has 3 leaves and then a pretty little white flower. And so this is just a big patch of clover that took amazingly well in the area that I planted it. it took me about 3 wagonfuls of soil, grass seed to finish off that whole bag of clover. It's all been spread out, and I'm gonna put out the sprinkler, but I just wanted to show you that our grass is currently being cut, which means that some of the clover is being killed by being cut, but it's releasing nitrogen into our lawn, making it healthy. Thanks for sharing your time with me.